I'm going to show you how I make a level for Swordslinger. Swordslinger is a unique puzzle game where you slay goblins by infusing a sword with magical behaviors. And I'll show you a little bit of how that works as I get into it. And I'm going to start by instancing an inherited scene. So I'm going to go to my scenes, to my level. I have a base level scene. Now this base level has all of the pieces that I need to be able to construct a level. So this is all set up for me already. We just have, game camera. We've got an environment tile map, level tile map, and then we got a couple of nodes here. The only one that's important for this stage is the enemies layer, because that's where we're going to put all the goblins and everything. This background effect layer right here, this node, is just for effects that are spawned while the game is running. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and start this. So first off, this level needs an ID. This is how I know in the save system whether a level was completed or not. And what I use for this is a globally unique identifier. So you can just generate one of these. There's lots of sites like this, but this one's gwidgenerator.com. So I'm just going to copy that result from there and paste it in for my ID. So now I'm guaranteed that that ID is going to be unique, and then I'll just go ahead and save it. So this right now is going to be level 31. It may not end up being level 31, but I will have to rebalance and reorder things later on. Okay. So now to actually design the level, what I like to do is think about what triggers and actions I want the player to have an easy time with. In other words, what triggers and actions can the player use that's going to make this level really easy? And I design all my levels so that they can be solved in a number of ways, but I do want to add, a little bit of intent to each level so that when people find a really clever or streamlined solution, I can at least have a hand in that, right? I can say I specifically designed this level to be easy with this trigger action combo, and if people organically find that, then it's going to feel very good. So I think I want to make this level easy by utilizing the reset position action. So what the reset position action does is it will reset the sword to its start position, but maintain its velocity and momentum and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and just start drafting it up. So where do I want the sword to start? I probably want the sword to start like down here. What I'm imagining is we'll place the sword there, and then what I'll do is I'll just paint some level tiles here. And I think what I want to do is something along these lines here, and we'll create like a little cliff ledge here, kind of like that. We're going to just fill that up so that it's solid. And what am I going to do? So I think in order to facilitate the sort of thing that I'm going for, let's go ahead and add a goblin. And I just added it to the enemies layer, and I did that by instancing a new child scene. And so we've just got a plain old goblin up here. And so he's going to be up there. And then I'm just going to duplicate him and drag this one down here. So my idea is that the easy way to solve this level will be you want to throw the sword up here and get it over there. So throw the sword over that way, and then use the reset position to continue the momentum into this direction. So I can actually show you how that might work with just this. So I'm just going to run this scene, and now we have, sorry, I was just checking the volume. Now we have a basic level here. So what I'm going to do is, this is kind of what I was thinking. So we throw the sword this way. Okay. And then maybe with a bounce, we throw the sword that way. Let's see if that works. And a lot of the times, this just takes a lot of iteration to do what I want it to do. But there we go. Okay. So then maybe we'll utilize the enemy killed trigger, and we will just do a reset position. So that's the one that I wanted to target, right? So when we kill this enemy, we're going to reset the position, and hopefully that sword momentum carries over into this guy over here. So give that a shot. Oh, it bounced off of him, it looks like. I think that might have just been a physics thing. So I might just need to change a little bit of something here, because these guys are actually not physics enabled. They just have simple area detections on them. So the sword actually doesn't interact with these guys. So that's just kind of a matter of coincidence that that was happening like that. So maybe I'll just adjust my sword parameters and I did not adjust them correctly. I'm leaving all of this in the video just because, like, there is no science to this process, so you can see that that actually transferred the momentum in the proper way. So there is no science to this process. I generally start with that idea that I told you about. I want the user or the player to have an easy time when they utilize this particular action, and then I just tweak the level and iterate on the level until it's in a good spot. The other criteria I have is that it also has to be solvable in more than just the one way that I've come up with. So with this example, as long as I leave this behavior block open so I can configure how many behavior blocks there are down here, you can see I've solved it with 3, but that's just because I have a very specific solution in mind. If I leave this one empty for players, that's going to give them the freedom to solve this in a bunch of different ways. Now, I actually don't think that I'm done with this level. I think what I might do is add like an island over here or something for another goblin, and we can potentially make that something like a different enemy type, or we can really emphasize the point that we need the sword to come back down here. We can use a demon. So actually, let me go ahead and add a demon island here. So we'll just do a little island like this. That's pretty good. I probably could have used the fill tool there, but we're good to go. And I'll go ahead and instance my demon egg. All right. So put the demon egg up there. And the demon egg requires a demon roost. Because what happens when you hit the egg, it spawns a demon that is then going to fly down to the roost here. So, you know, we might make like a little mound here for this thing. Like a little pedestal kind of deal. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, I might play around with this a little bit more, but maybe we'll see how this works out. Now I have to actually configure this, so I have to assign a roost path here. Let's go ahead and try this out. So you can imagine a new player is going to be looking at this and is going to be kind of thinking about it a little bit. I already know kind of how this level is quote unquote supposed to be beaten, so it's not super difficult for me to just get started working on this, you know, on the solution here. So now I'm actually running into a problem here where I don't think I have the right angle to do what I need to do. So I think this probably could be solved by moving this whole island down. So these are the kind of things that I just, you know, sort of need to do. So I guess we'll cut the selection and we'll just move it down here. We could probably put it, I still want it to be floating, so maybe we'll just stick it right there. Yeah, that should be fine. And then we'll take the demon egg and just drag that down. And we'll give that another shot. I'm gonna throw... Okay, yeah, that should be good. And I actually killed him on the bounce back, but we actually don't want to do that. We want to send the sword back this way. And yeah, we're gonna need a little bit more here. What I could also do instead of a throw in this instance, so actually I might just use a rocket grapple here. That might give me more of what I'm looking for. Yeah, that might actually be better. So if I just tweak this a little bit. Oh. Close. So yeah, these are the kind of things that I generally have to do. Okay, cool, so that worked. Enemy killed. Let's do a reset position. Okay, and then, yeah, I'm gonna leave this fourth slot open, just because we're dealing with a pretty complex level here. Oh, okay. So I just need to tweak these numbers a little bit. So right here, I have now found out that there's at least one viable solution, right? But that's not all of the criteria that I need. I need to solve it in a different way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and, yep, there we go. Got a good there. So I'm gonna try to solve this in a different way. and see if that's just as viable as what I had envisioned, right? So how can I do this? Well, I can start immediately with shooting an arrow that way to kill that goblin. Okay. And then what I might do is we can use an enemy killed trigger here to throw the sword that way. Okay. And maybe we'll do a couple of bounces and I wonder if we can get away with shooting another arrow. Oh, that's probably not going to work, actually. Might be slightly out of range there. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. So actually what I can do is, let me try this. So let me do a rocket grapple. Turn the duration down. We'll send it back that way a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Oh, that actually bounced to hit that guy. So what I can actually do here is now do a timer and then just shoot another arrow. And I'll be in the air at that point. Oh yeah, this is gonna work. So yeah. So what I've done now is I've pretty much verified that there are at least 2 viable solutions to this. Yeah. And I can actually, that's the other thing I forgot to mention, I do make sure that you can get the max glorious rank on every level. And so I verified everything that I need to verify, so now we have to fill in the details of the level. So I've got the shape down correctly. So I'm not going to change any of the terrain at all, at least none of the functional terrain. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start adding the sort of interesting bits. So what I like to do is I like to create little caverns in massive blocks of terrain, because I feel like that just breaks up. There's so much white, you know, and it's kind of blinding. So just adding a little bit of that breakup in here, I think does a lot to improve the visual quality of the levels. So I create a little cavern in there, and then the rest of it's fine. So this is where the environment tiles come in. And I have a bunch of different props that I can place down. So let's just go ahead and start with it. I'm just going to place probably just like a little cross right there. I have some grass that is auto-tiled. So there's like 5 or 6, or maybe it's 4 or 5 different grass types that are automatically selected here. So what I do is I just paint the grass on the level. I leave some spots bare just because it adds a little bit of variety there. And then I have a tree. We can put a tree in here somewhere. I try not to go too overboard with this stuff, so I might just place a tree up here actually, because that sounds nice. And just put grass all the way down here. Okay, and I'm pretty much almost done here. I missed a spot over here. There's one final thing that I usually do, and that is I have these little roots here. And so I usually put the roots on the underside of any terrain that is elevated. And that just gives it a feeling like plants are growing through the terrain, you know? And then as a last little bit, I just layer the top with grass and other kinds of props and stuff. And I can actually just go ahead and throw a fence on here for you. There we go. So now when I run the level, this is going to look a lot more complete. So now I have an environment that actually feels, you know, it's just stylized more. Now it feels a little bit more alive. So anyway, that's the level. Assuming I don't make any changes to this level, you will actually see this level in the full game. So that is my process for making Swordslinger levels. I hope you enjoyed this devlog. Be sure to wishlist it on Steam, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter @Firebelly. Wishlist my game Swordslinger on Steam. A link to that is in the description.